Hello, this is Matt from tracy@matt.co.uk and from unboxings.com, and here I am looking at the Sony Ericsson Xperia Array, latest in the line of new Xperia devices this year from Sony Ericsson. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing video. So on top we have the handset itself, which we'll come back and look at in a second, and then also in the box we have a USB to micro USB sync charge cable. We have the mains charger, which is a USB style charger with a 3-pin UK plug. Have a wired headset, 4-pole 3.5mm jack on one end. Have an inline microphone with push button, fairly straightforward. There are no media controls or anything like that on there. And then the headphones themselves, again it's a fairly straightforward wired headset, nothing particularly exciting. Bag there which contained probably the battery, it has already been installed. Then underneath we have a couple of manuals. So we have my first hour, which is basically the getting started guide, and Sony Ericsson always do these pull out leaflets rather than sort of printed manuals. So they're sort of map style folding. There's some important information there, and then there's the SAR information there as well. So looking to the handset, it's a fairly cute handset in terms of size and styling. Nice sort of almost a mocha colour, silver, almost brown, like a browny silver or bronze around the outside, front being completely black and quite flat, and a very thin handset as well. Nice design and nice style. Just going to peel off this screen protector on the front so that we can actually see a bit better without the reflection in the actual video. So a forward facing camera and loudspeaker on the front here. The display itself is a 3.3 inch, which may seem a bit small, but it is a 480 by 854 pixel display. So cramming that into a 3-inch display or 3.3 inch display, there's extremely high pixel density there as well. Sort of getting towards the Retina style display in terms of pixel density, so that's pretty impressive. Capacitive touchscreen as you come to expect. Underneath we have a couple of capacitive touch buttons. So we have the back and the search button, sorry, the back of the menu button. The home button though is actually physical. You're seeing this quite a bit more on the Android devices now, where there is a combination of capacitive and physical buttons. I think the physical home button just kind of gives a little bit of comfort. On this side we have the micro USB connector. It's one of these enhanced micro USB connectors though, so that it has other capabilities. On the bottom, a couple of cutouts for your lanyard or phone charm, and a microphone hole as well. And then up on the right hand side, it's pretty neat and tidy really, just an up and down volume control rocker. On the top, a 3.5mm headphone jack for using obviously headphones or the wired headset, and then the power button next to that. Now on the back we have an 8-megapixel autofocus camera, has a LED next to that for the flash, and is capable of recording in HD. Also a hole on the back, which I believe is a secondary microphone, probably for noise cancelling. And right at the bottom there is the external loudspeaker for your, where it makes the ringtone and etc. Yeah, there's a second microphone on the back. Battery is already installed. I'm just going to pop it out and check out the capacity. Listed here as 1500 mAh capacity battery, so that's a pretty high capacity. Micro SD card slides here. We've got 4 gig micro SD memory card in place, but it will support up to 32 gig. Pretty impressive. And then we have space for the SIM card itself, so we just pop that back on and pop on the back cover. And it's fairly plastic. It looks like it's metal, but it is actually a plastic back cover, but it's fairly secure. Pops all in place like so. It's pretty neat and tidy. We'll just power up. While it comes on, we'll just run through the spec. Quad band for GSM, dual band for HSDPA. It'll work in most places roaming. In terms of size, 111mm from top to bottom, 53mm wide, and just 9.4mm thick. And also the weight, only 100 grams. It really feels like a nice small lightweight handset. Very impressive, quite desirable as well. And as I say, with that high res or high pixel density display, 854 by 480 pixels or 480 by 854, it's pretty good. In terms of processor, etc., we have a 1 GHz Scorpion processor. We have 1 gig of internal ROM and 512 meg of RAM, so decent amount of storage, and everything else that you come to expect really. GPS, Bluetooth 2 with A2DP support, and Wi-Fi supported 802.11b, G and N standards. and everything else basically. This is sort of straightforward. Nothing particularly out of the ordinary in terms of specification. Say the camera on the back does support 720p video recording, for example. But we'll just actually take a quick look around the user interface. A familiar looking user interface. If you've seen Sony Ericsson handsets before, they tend to have a very similar look to them. So we're going to set up in United Kingdom. Display is really sharp, as you would expect. Again, I'm going to mention the high pixel density, but it is does make it nice and sharp. So there we go, we've started up. So we do have the Timescape user interface, as I say, that has been on a lot of the Sony Ericsson handsets for the last year, 18 months, something like that. On the main screen we have the Google search with voice search, the actual Timescape Rolodex style information there, a couple of icons underneath which are to do with the Timescape stuff. So it's about connecting up to Facebook, Twitter, and extended search, Timescape information, and refresh Timescape. Swiping across we have media controls. We have a bit here for actually being able to play back video samples, and then going into music, photos and videos there. Weather, coming back the other way, we have your favourites and Android Market, and then we have controls for backlight and Bluetooth on and off, sorry, Wi-Fi on off, Bluetooth, sound, synchronization and GPS, and there's also an experience more. We'll probably just one of the things that we'll just get rid of. There we go. We'll turn Bluetooth on. Oh, no, we'll turn Wi-Fi on, sorry. And hit the home button. There we go. So if we do a pinch on the home screen, we have a collapsing overview, a little bit different to the overview or helicopter view, or whatever you want to call it, that you see on some other Android handsets. In here they bounce around. It's a little bit more unusual, a bit different. So all the widgets that you have sitting on your home screen bounce around the display, and if you want to go and find one, you can just tap on it. It takes you to the screen that actual widget appears on, so it's kind of useful. And it's a little bit different as well, a little bit out of the ordinary. Going back the other way, now we've got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi on. I keep saying Bluetooth this morning. So go back into settings and wireless and networks. We'll connect to wireless. So we have a T9 style text entry, not a fan. We'll look, change the input method to international, that's a standard keyboard. So we want to change the entry method, presumably you can do so, hopefully. Portrait keyboard, choose the type, full keyboard instead of a phone pad. There we go, and if we go back, put in our passkey, we then have a full quality keyboard, which is much more desirable. I think the reason that's perhaps been done is because the screen is only 3.3 inch, so it's a little bit more condensed, but that's fine. While we obtain an IP address there, we are connected. That was pretty quick. So let's go back home and we'll take a look at some of the installed applications. We're going to take a look at the browser. Complaining about not having a SIM card, so we go over to our site. Oops. There we go, we've got progress bar at the top, it's loading fairly quickly. Very quickly indeed actually, obviously using broadband and Wi-Fi, but it just tells us a little bit about how quickly it renders. Display being quite small, even though it is high res, does mean that the text is fairly difficult to pick out, the small text, but in actual fact, although they're probably not going to get that on the video here, it is actually legible. If you get close enough to the screen you can actually read the text. 2-finger zooming is supported, and accelerometer control, we get it into landscape mode, and in landscape text is a lot more easy to read, so there's the additional width of the display, so that's pretty cool. Then 2-finger zooming, double tap to zoom in and out is also supported, so that's pretty good. Straightforward browser, nothing terribly unusual, pretty standard, but it works very well. performance is quite good. Doesn't seem to be much lag or latency there, certainly in zooming and scrolling, so the processor seems to be doing a fairly decent job. Back into here, we can actually set up timescape, as we already saw, so we can actually add Twitter and Facebook and a few other things into the stream for that. Google Maps, standard implementation of Google Maps, no doubt. We go into the settings and we can turn on the use of GPS. Waiting for location. As you can see in the top corner there, or top of the top bar, it's saying us that it's searching for a GPS connection or GPS signal. You pulled down the bar at the top, telling us there's no network service available because I don't have a SIM card. But we'll go back home. Being indoors is struggling to pick up a GPS signal or a fix, so just skip back out of there. Swiping side to side rather than up and down. In terms of other things installed, we've got WhatsApp's already installed, Neo Reader, which appears to be a 3D barcode reader. Track ID, data monitor, that's very useful for doing exactly that, monitoring how much data you're using on your phone service, and certainly if you've got a capped or a prepaid amount. There's an FM radio, voice search, power saving mode, get games, so we can download and get apps, so there is like a Sony Ericsson store. There's also a Play Now store, Office Suite installed as well. YouTube's there, so let's go and take a quick look at YouTube. Let's see how quickly this plays and buffers. There we go. Extremely quick playtime, buffering, playing. Landscape mode gives you full screen. Portrait mode gives you this smaller view with also information underneath, such as related videos, comments, and so on. Again, as I say, standard implementation of the YouTube client, but works very, very well indeed. So I'm going to pop into Android Market, sign into my account, accept terms and conditions, and go into Android Market. There we go. So you'll notice here, it's again a straightforward implementation of Android Market standard. Apps and games there, but also the Sony Ericsson items there. So it's Sony Ericsson's recommendations as well. Go into the search. I'm going to download Quadrant Standard Edition. So I'm going to do a quick benchmark for you so you can see how we shape up against some of the other things that we've looked at recently. And we'll go back out of here, back home, wait for that to download. Hopefully it won't take too long. Maybe even completed already, have we? No, not quite. Oh, there we go. It's now started. Installing. Successfully installed. I'll just launch it from here. Run full benchmark. It shouldn't take too long to run through. So just give us a little bit of an idea of how this shapes up against some of the other handsets we've looked at lately. Some of them also are dual core processors, so this being a single core, be interesting to see how it performs. It's not doing too badly, sort of up to 40, 50 frames a second at different points of that. And doing 59, 60 frames a second in that 3D planetary view, and 30 frames a second for that DNA string that it's animating there. So let's see how that actually appears in numbers. Pretty decent in actual fact, 1480, which is a very respectable score in Quadrant, so very good. So I think that is a little quick tour an unboxing video of the Sony Ericsson Xperia Ray. We'll have a full review for you over the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's twitter.com/TracyandMatt or facebook.com/TracyandMatt.co.uk. Please do feel free to ask us any questions, post any comments, all that sort of stuff. We'll try and answer you if it's about this or any other handsets that you've seen us looking at recently. We'll be very happy to help you. I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on TracyandMatt.co.uk, but for now, thanks for watching.